I messed up, guys. I messed up big time. I just fixed my S4. It was running perfectly for weeks now, and I broke it again. Now, sometimes you think you know everything, but you really don't.
Look at all that oil right there. Oh my goodness.
This is my Project 2014 Audi S4. Let's take a moment to look back at the progress we've made so far on this S4 before diving into what exactly went wrong.
I can't believe I missed one single thing.
This Audi sat in my driveway for 8 months until I could finally get the project underway. In the first episode, I started by preparing the 3.0 V6 engine that I bought from a used 2014 S5 from eBay. Firstly, I mated the DSG transmission up to the engine itself, then proceeded to remove the supercharger in order to replace the check valve on the PCV and also the high pressure fuel sensor that sits on the fuel rail and the fuel injector seals before putting the supercharger back on. Now in the second episode, we finally got to swapping the engine into the Audi. I made sure to replace the spark plugs, coil packs, and both the supercharger and serpentine belt to ensure that the motor would start up and run properly from the get-go. And it was finally time to put it into the car. However, it wasn't as easy as I initially thought it would be. Putting aside the fact that I've never done an engine swap, I also had to work in a small one-car garage.
Yes, I don't have a lot of space in here.
And swap the motor into the car while it was outside. Whether it was cold or hot, I had to get it done. But while removing the old blown engine was a breeze, installing the new one came with its own set of challenges.
So I got the high pressure fuel pump primed and I noticed there's some gas leaking. So that's a little unfortunate.
Thankfully, I had a spare high pressure fuel pump sitting on the shelf, and after replacing it, I was back on track for the first start of this engine. When it finally roared to life, I couldn't contain the happiness, but there was still a lot of work ahead. Countered another issue, where the transmission would shift, but the clutches wouldn't engage.
Well, that's the reason why my car wasn't driving.
Despite the difficulties I had, I persevered, and the hard work paid off when my Audi finally roared to life on the road. Just listen to that supercharger scream. Oh my goodness, like that sounds so good. Despite the roar of the supercharger, my Audi was still incomplete. The front end remained unpainted and the windshield was cracked and needed replacement. I began by prioritizing the windshield replacement since I had to wait for the body shop to schedule a time for me to drop the car off for paint. Shout out to Dan Auto Glass for helping me replace the windshield on my car. If you're local to the Pacific Northwest, give him a call. Once my windshield was replaced, it was time to send her off to the body shop for the front end to be prepped and painted. I didn't have the chance to film the entire process. However, the body shop was kind enough to send me a few photos of the car in the paint booth. Once I got the call that it was done, I headed over to my buddy's house to check out the finished product.
Dude,
take a look, you guys.
It's like a whole brand new car.
This leads us back to the beginning of the video. Before the body shop took my car, tragedy struck. Driving late at night, I got multiple codes on my dash. What the hell? Indicating something was horribly wrong with my transmission.
I'm in that position right now, and it really sucks.
Next morning, I knew that I needed to figure this issue out right away.
I haven't even looked into the car yet. We're gonna find out right now.
If we look under the car right now, and I don't know if you can tell, but oh, this right here is wet, and I can definitely attest
that it smells like DSG fluid. There's a possibility that a $3 O-ring might have just cost me a transmission. And today, we're gonna find out if that's true or not. I'm gonna get the car pushed up to my driveway right now. We'll get under it and find out what exactly happened to the transmission. This is as far as I can get the car up for now. I didn't want to put it into gear and risk burning the DSG clutches. Here's where it all happened. Initially, I had the S4 parked right here. It was already leaking DSG fluid, and you can kind of see it's kind of the center of the DSG from what it seems like to me, and they just leaked down. And when I drove out, I actually didn't notice this entire puddle of DSG fluid because it was actually dark at night.
At this point, guys, I didn't know what to think. Did I hit something and poke a hole in the transmission? What did I miss?
look at all that oil right there. That's horrible.
It was definitely a somber moment looking at all the DSG fluid in the bottom of the car until I noticed something.
For doing some inspection and looking over the fluid right here around the filter housing, you know, I thought those two O-rings right there failed. Everything right there is also covered in DSG fluid. How this belly pan looks right here,
It looks like it was just spraying backwards. Let's take the belly pan off and go from there.
I grabbed a microfiber towel to wipe off the DSG fluid the best that I could, and then took the hardware off to remove the belly pan.
I found out who to blame. Me. Human error. Let me show you guys what's underneath. I can't believe I missed one single thing. It's not the transmission oil pan, it's not the exterior filter housing on the trans, it's not even the oil return lines on the transmission side. Let me show you guys what I found. I plugged all the connections in and the car stood up like this. No check engine light, no problems. I refilled the trans, it was perfect. I didn't notice that it was leaking at all, but I just found the issue. Getting underneath, look at this fitting right here, guys. You see those drops right there? And it turns out that these fittings right here, not even tighten at all. That means that I just clipped them on and just hand tighten them and let them be exactly how they were. Essentially, this fitting right here was leaking and that's what was spraying all the DSG fluid.
Upon reviewing my footage, I discovered that while securing the DSG return lines to the radiator DSG cooler lines, I had only hand tightened them and neglected to actually properly torque them down to spec before proceeding to connect the remaining wiring harness. This oversight was extremely unfortunate as it nearly resulted in my DSG transmission failing. But you live and you learn. This was definitely a humbling yet teaching moment for myself.
Spray everything down here. Clearly, I didn't tighten these two fittings down. All of this is all covered in DSG fluid. Absolutely drenched.
I continued cleaning up the garlic smelling DSG fluid by washing it off the belly pan first. Using brake cleaner, I sprayed the entire engine block and the entire bottom of the vehicle to get rid of any oil still lingering around. Grabbing 2 wrenches, I properly secured the DSG return lines like I should have done in the first place. Next, I needed to visit my nearby Audi dealership to pick up additional DSG fluid. While I was there, I was impressed by their stunning vehicles on their showroom floor, including a gray R8, an RS5, an RS7, and a pristine white R8 with a red interior. Leave a comment down below letting me know which Audi model I should build next. With the spare DSG fluid I needed, I headed back home.
I'm probably gonna repark the car on this surface, flat surface right here, put it on jack stands again, and then refill the trans fluid all the way to the top and hope for the best. I have 7 liters right here of DSG fluid specifically for this transmission. Let's get the transmission refilled. This is the little fill plug right here, right next to the filter housing. Now, the trans service has been previously done in this car, so the exterior filter and also the filter inside the transmission was replaced, so they're basically brand new. They have only a few thousand miles on them. So I need to take this plug off right here and then start filling the transmission with the DSG fluid.
Before I explain what this contraption is, there is a precise fill procedure you do have to follow when refilling the 7-speed DSG with fluid. However, I won't be walking you guys through it as I didn't have the time to film it due to being limited on daylight. ECS Tuning has a great video on the entire DSG service, which is actually what I followed. The other great thing I found out is you can use OBD11 to check the transmission fluid temperature to follow said fill procedure. Following the steps I needed, I topped the transmission off with fluid until there was a steady drip.
This is a backyard mechanic kind of deal. Also, what I had to do here is this hand pump is actually for the MQB platform style DSG fluid. So I didn't have the correct tool for these bottles. And so you can actually get that from FCP Euro ECS Tuning. And there's actually some really nice kits online just for that. So don't do what I did. Definitely get yourself a nice hand pump, even the pneumatic pump. Those are really nice. I had to find something that works with this pump, and I actually found a clean bottle that I cleaned out and poured all the DSG fluid in here. But I can at least attest that this backyard mechanic kind of stuff works definitely when you need to. Don't do things the way I do it. So don't crucify me, guys. I know what I need to do, and I just didn't have the right tools on at the time, and I don't want to wait. We're gonna start the car, let the transmission warm up, and go from there. The one thing I definitely love about this B8.5 is still the interior. It's so nice for what it is. Anyways, let's get the car started up. Now, there's a check engine light. So I am gonna run the codes. I am gonna check everything. Before I put it into reverse, which is race mode or drive, I wanna let the transmission warm up and let all that fluid that's currently in the transmission, the new fluid that I just put in, to circulate through it, circulate through the radiator, through the trans.
Now that we had sorted the transmission situation, let's jump forward to where the shop was finally finished with my S4.
Dude, it's like a whole brand new car. Wow. Oh my goodness. It actually looks like a car now, and that's what's the most important part. The paint is high quality. The clear coat looks really good. It's all blended, and it actually looks like a car. This car has been such a massive project for me, and it's amazing to finally see it 100% done. What's up, Cole? Ooh, let's go. Start this bad boy up. We're gonna start it up. Man, that stock exhaust is raspy, huh?
Car's running great, and so we're gonna take it back home and start looking for a new project. Driving this bad boy, dude. I haven't driven this thing in weeks. What do you think of the car? Doesn't it look so much better than it did before? Oh my goodness. It's like this car just came back alive. So what's up? Are you gonna drive it or what? Maybe. Doesn't it look so much better? Hey, good work. Thanks for motivating me. Car is 199.9% complete. All I'm missing is some wheel spacers for these right here. Now, it is a clean title car, so that does give me an edge over some of the competition on the market. I'm definitely gonna miss this engine. I'm gonna miss the blower whine. It's so crazy to see this car just done. It just looks stock. It looks so good. Oh my goodness, that sounds so good. I love this car so much, guys. And every single time I get in it, I don't want to sell it. This supercharger is just so intoxicating. As much as I love a turbo, there's something about the instant power of a blower that just changes all things. And then the whine is just a bonus. Let's try this again. Oh, wow. And what am I gonna look for next? A B9 S4, B8.5 Q5? I don't know. If you guys have any suggestions, any ideas, or any offers that are out there, feel free to leave a comment down below or email me. I'll see you guys in the next one.